Welcome back. I just noticed that this shirt probably would have made a lot more sense for the last video, but I also didn't have this shirt, but I just bought it. So, just get some Italian Adventure Resort merch of Jurassic Trail. Anyway, welcome back to another video. I decided to work on a pretty big section of my park. It's the ancient Rome part. I'm kind of trying to bring back the Italy into Italian Adventure Resort. I feel like we're kind of losing the original idea behind what the park was. I'm expanding westward of the park. What's beyond the Chariots of Fire? I think I might be renaming the ride to Gladiator, but I'm still thinking about the name. Let's kind of go over what I've been working on so far. I've already laid down the track for the new ride, which is Vesuvius. Well, really Vesuvius is just moving over. This is kind of like a code named Vesuvius 2.0. Kind of try not to say too much. One of the big things that I always have to edit out. Like, and so. It was also kind of hard to find a good song. If you hear a lot of the background music just being like a lyre, sounds like very like medieval type music. Try to choose music that fits to the theme of what I'm building and what I'm working on. The title of this video is going to be something like Theme Park Tycoon 2 is my ancient Rome, or is my Roman Empire. Maybe it'll be a little clickbaity, who knows, but not really. I'm working on the Roman Empire, aka ancient Rome. Maybe I should change the name of the area to Roman Empire. Nah, we're gonna keep it as ancient Rome, but I might change the name of the ride. One of the biggest things I had to do is make a new volcano, obviously replacing the old Vesuvius volcano. I decided to add maybe a little bit more detail on the inside. Probably not the most detail, but whatever. But the biggest thing I thought I had to make look better was the facade, because I feel like the last volcano was just a little too flat. Terraforming the volcano was probably a big part of the construction, the building of Vesuvius 2.0. And I was trying to figure out like ways to make it different than what the last one was. I felt like the last one was a lot more rough and it went by too quick. It did have one inversion, but it was like a very uncomfortable inversion. Realistically, if you're on that ride, you'd probably break your neck. So with this ride, I decided to make a lot smoother, and I made I would say probably a little bit better inversion. You'll see it in the final cinematic shot. When I was building this area, I tried to do as much research as I could about Pompeii and Vesuvius to try to get more ideas of what to build. I watched a whole YouTube documentary about it. It was really cool. They kind of went over what life was like in Pompeii before the eruption. Now, for a theme park, some of the stuff just didn't make sense. Like, there was a huge focus on bathhouses and mansions. In my head, I was thinking, how would I make that make sense for a theme park? What I decided to do is really just kind of create a lot of facades, and I kind of made a destroyed Pompeii for the queue for the ride. What I would do is I would create just almost like pillars and change the shape and change the size to make them look like they were kind of destroyed. I think it looks a lot better than the original. I even had one of my friends go on and compare the two. I think it looks a lot better. Plus the queue makes a lot more sense. It's not just a straight line. You'll see later in the video how the original queue area for Vesuvius got redone. That was a huge part of why I decided to move Vesuvius, because there's a big issue with sight lines. When you were in that castle plaza and you look to your left or to the west, whatever, you could see Futureland. I guess it's not too crazy, it's not too bad, but it doesn't make sense for the area that you're in. It's like you're in this Vatican-inspired main street with the castle, which, I mean, that's already a little interesting in its own, but I got inspired by a certain little park that some people may or may not know of. I decided that I need to figure out a way to make the sightlines make a little bit more sense. I decided to reroute the paths, and actually that whole part of the video, it took me 2.5 hours to build that and redo all the paths. None of that video saved, so I'll have a little section that I'll show you. I also created basically how they think that ancient Rome, the city, looked like. It's really an expansion to the ancient Rome area. It's kind of its own little Pompeii. The lands they kind of make, it's all ancient Rome. Everything's ancient Rome inspired, so like it's not geographically like accurate to the T. There are some aspects of different cities. There's the Rome area in this new expansion. I use a lot of the copy and paste tool to try forced perspective. To make some of the temples look a lot further, I had to scale them down and move them up on the mountain. I actually thought this was probably one of the best looking areas that I've worked on in like the whole ancient Rome area. Well, really the whole ancient Rome area, if you've seen it in the beginning to how it is now, you would probably laugh. It was the first area I ever built nearly 3 years ago. A lot of it was inspired by, believe it or not Disney, not Universal, but there's a water park slash theme park up in Wisconsin, kind of near where I used to live, called Mount Olympus. They have a lot of Greek inspired stuff, and I thought, okay, let me not be an exact copy. I'm not going to do Greek stuff, I'm going to do Roman stuff. The more I learned about it, I feel like the Roman gods or whatever, they make a little less sense than the Greek ones. There's Jupiter, there's Mars, so it really sounds like it's planets and space themed, but it's not. That kind of justifies the Futureland with a lot of space inspired stuff, so I'd be like, alright, it's just an extension to Italy. It's not inspired by Tomorrowland or whatever. I feel like when I make a lot of these videos, I just have to yap as long as I can, kind of ramble, because there's a lot of parts that I edit out. Actually, believe it or not, on the last video, when I did the Jurassic Trail area, I thought I was talking so long. The video itself was around 10-11 minutes. My talking head video itself was about 15 minutes long. I'm like, alright, that gives me a good buffer if I need to edit out stuff. When I came to find out that a lot of that video was just a lot of ums or a lot of stuff that I had to edit out. One of the things I also decided to do was inspired by my cousin. She said you should add the Milan Cathedral to the park, which I thought made sense too. I was also trying to think of how it would fit in, sticking to that whole ancient Rome mixture of a lot of Italian and just whatever architecture. I guess it's a big melting pot. That's gonna kind of be the exit gate for ancient Rome, leading to the new area, which will all be revealed in the next video. I kind of show how I moved the Leaning Tower of Pisa to ancient Rome, which I feel like made a lot more sense. I really don't know why it was in fairy tale land. In my original map, it made sense because the whole park was supposed to be Italy themed, so it wouldn't really be weird for something to be in a different spot than would make sense. Versus now, I feel like I have set borders almost and like what makes sense of the lands. Moving on, a lot of that video kind of went missing. I had the Fountain of Trevi, or Trevi Fountain, that someone told me I should build. I also moved over the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I did the queue under the ride, I guess in the mountain. There was a lot of work. I also redid the whole Pantheon spin, the whole little Pantheon inspired building. That was really nice. I think it looks a lot better now looking back at it. The Despicable Me YouTube short, which I don't know if any of you guys have seen, that's going to be part of Sunset Boulevard, which is going to be an expansion that I work on. Maybe probably end of 2024. We'll see. Maybe 2025. Got to figure it out because I do have a huge project coming soon. One of the reasons why I had to kind of flatten out the whole old Vesuvius mountain. Stay tuned for that. I think you guys are going to like it. It's probably one of the most ambitious expansions I've ever done. Probably one of the only non-Italy inspired besides Futureland. I mean, Futureland in itself it's a little controversial. There's a reasoning to how the park is split up. The big mountains there, everything that's towards the south or like towards the entrance is all basically Italy themed. I mean, we got ancient Rome, we have Venice, the Alps, the castles, which believe it or not, a lot of castles are in Italy. Among France, it's probably one of the countries with the most castles. And then there's the Amalfi Coast, kind of the Sunken Gardens, a little bit, kind of, sort of, yeah, there were pirates traversed the Mediterranean. Oh, hi. My cat decided to come out. You want to say hi? This is my cat, Shadow. She was in my last video. I don't think she wants to be on camera. Maybe you do. Anyway, even like the other expansion that I'm going to be doing to the east side of the park is Salento Coast, which is also inspired by Italy. There might be some Disney IP, some non-really Italy-based stuff, but whatever, we can live with it. You guys will see on the next video what that expansion is for, what all that land clearing was for. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be going to the cinematic edit next. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.